Hello everyone, my name is Janet. Used tires often end up in the trash as waste. But did you know that you can earn income by recycling these tires into creative furniture designs? Today we visited our entrepreneur to show us how he does this.
This is trash to some people, so we are turning it into something valuable. My name is Siwa Branton and I'm 26 years old. I'm the founder and team leader, God's Will Art and Fashion Youth Center. Car tire furniture cannot actually be destroyed by water, cannot be eaten by rats or what. So we are preserving the environment, and at the same time we are bringing out a product that is actually reliable, unique, and actually durable. The first step is we need the main raw material, and this is the car tire. We shall be using size 13 or the medium size. You can get it from any petrol station. Our car tire costs 5,000 shillings. Our second step is measuring the reinforcements and cutting them. And the purpose of these reinforcements is to help the tire, protect the tire from sagging, from going down. We measure them from the inside of the car tire. We cut them from timber, this size. This is a 2x2, and we cut 3 pieces of these. When you're fixing them in, you have to take it inside horizontally, then you lift it. Our next step is hammering in the nails to support the reinforcements, and we do this on the top. These nails are 2.5 inches. A quarter costs about 2,000 shillings. Our next step is applying the sponge. You need just 1 piece, and 1 piece costs about 15,000 shillings. So you have extra 2 inches, okay? Extra 2 inches, put inside there, the inside part. Then you raise your tape measure up to the bottom. If we have 18 inches, this is the width that we are going to cut on the sponge. We cut following, yes. Our next step is applying tough bond glue. This glue is not like any other glue. You can get it from any hardware. It costs about 5,000 shillings. So the technique of this glue is you have to apply both on the sponge and on the tire. We apply the glue and leave it for some minutes to dry. You have to be able to touch and it's not sticking. We are going to put some holes, and the purpose of these holes is to hold the glass holders. You make sure you target in between the reinforcements. So when our glue is dry on both ends of the sponge and car tire, we roll our car tire in the middle of the sponge. When you reach the end of the sponge, you cover it up. After we finish, we start now folding it, following the shape. So how we deal with the folds, we need a stapling gun. This stapling gun, you can get it from any hardware shop, and they come in different types and sizes, and it uses different wires. These are heavy-duty staple wires. We start with the top. We deal with fold per fold. Yes, where you have a fold is where you staple. You see how I'm positioning this? I am not positioning it like this, but like this. when we are doing this next step, instead of holding your stapling gun like this, hold it upside down. We want these folds of the sponge to come all the way inside. So we can turn to our downer part and do the same with the folds. So these extra ones for the downer one, you can always cut off. Don't need them. Our next step will be applying the fabric. But before we put on the fabric, I remember the holes that we drilled, and these holes are supposed to hold the glass holders. These will sit on top of the fabric, but they have to go through the holes that we talked about. Before we measure the fabric, we have to get the measurements from the car tires. We measure around the car tire. So what we have measured, you add in allowance here of 0.5. This is very important because you don't want to make the fabric when it doesn't fit. Remember, we left 2 inches, so the 2 inches have to go with being inside. So the 17 inches is the width. Then we can also measure the length. Now we join this part. You can either use a sewing machine, you can even use a hand needle to join it. Now we are going to put it inside. So we fix the tire inside. So when you're fixing, you fix side by side. You hold this one like this, straight. Then you put it down. So when it comes down, it will automatically give you where to fold from. You hold your stapling gun upside down. We are done with the top part, and what we have to do now is to stretch and also attach the downer part. Remember, you put a hole from the top, so you have to trace the hole from down. So our first hole is here, you can see it. Yes, so we put a mark here. We are going to attach this, we are going to put it through that hole. So you can use your scissor, just make it a little bit bigger. Yes, so that it can reach the size of this, but it doesn't have to be so big because we want this to be tight. Our glass holder has a hole, okay? So what we do, we need a nail, the same nails that you use to hammer them. So we need this nail to go through, but from the inside part, okay? So that it can lock it. We have to know where our reinforcements correspond on the downer part. So we have to mark those points. Those points are supposed to help us to know where the stands will be attached. The next step now will be putting our fabric to cover the top part. We hold 1 inch, we put it inside, then we measure straight. We have 13 inches. Now in those 13, we also add 1 inch. We cut a square of 14 by 14 because it's going to go all the way around. Now we turn our tire upside down. We focus on the sides first, on the 4 sides. We staple one side first. Okay, then we also staple the other. Then we also do the opposite ones. After we have stapled the four corners of the square, we follow the shape, the round shape, while we are stapling. So you pull and you follow the round shape. Okay. After you have turned it, it has to look neat and tight. The next step now is to get our tire off the ground. And we need a ply, and this is a 4mm hard ply, not the small ones. Yes, because this is something that is going to carry this weight. This ply is better off bought already made. Yes, and each piece costs about 10 to 15,000 shillings, already round cut piece. So the next step is to attach our stands. Now you can realize that our stands are slanting a bit. These stands, we make them out of timber, but you can always get ready-made ones, and each costs about 4,000 shillings, already made and painted. Okay, so why are they slanting? We need them slanting because when you put it here, it has to give that inclination to make the table firm. So how to position this? Remember, this is a circle. So if we are putting 3 legs or 3 stands, we need to divide it into 3, which makes sort of like a triangle. So the space left here must be the space left here and here. You position them on the edge, but then you make sure now this is not seen outside. Okay, then after you can mark them. We nail following this stand, okay, because we want it to go through there. We want it to go through this stand. Okay, so we also incline our nail a bit. You can put maximally 2. Incline the nail. Before we attach this, we have to mark our points of the enforcements that we put inside here. Okay, those points that we marked, one is here, another one is here, and another one is yes. So we have to mark those points up here, okay, so that when you nail from the top here, it's going to go through into the enforcement. The last step now is to attach our glass. Now we've used non-transparent glass, reflecting glass, but if you want, you can always use a transparent one. If you want them to be attached to the glass, you just have to press the glass a bit. Our table is ready. If you have your own decor, you can always put it there.